Welcome to the Progtalks by the Progspace. Welcome to the Progtalks, an interview series by the Progspace where we will be talking to musicians in all corners of the progressive music scene.
Welcome back to another episode of the Progtalks. This is going to be the last interview episode of this year, and I'm very happy to have calling
Rasmus
from the outskirts of Denmark, Rasmus from Franklin Zoo. Hi, Rasmus. How are you doing?
Hey, man. Hey, Dario. Nice to meet you.
As we see with the beautiful lighting, it's very dark where you are. Where are you exactly, Rasmus?
I'm at the outskirts of Denmark, in a rather isolated place called Odsherred, which and the reason I'm there is because my two youngest sons have COVID. So we drove to isolation around a week ago, and the little one still is not without symptoms, so we're still here. We're kind of stuck. But the house is a little bit tight. It's only 20 square meters. So I fried them with candy and SpongeBob SquarePants. And then I'm sitting outside doing this. It's pretty funny.
Oh, wow. So all the best for your sons, that they recover quickly and soon, and you can return to your normal life. But of course, we want to take the opportunity, the last interview opportunity of this year, to get to know the band Franklin Zoo a little bit, because that was like, as I said in my mini review for the reviews of the week, for the releases of the week, back at the beginning of October, that it just came out of nowhere. And no, it's not true. I just remember, sorry, I didn't write it for the releases of the week because I missed it then. I had heard the last single, but I was like, complicated story. Anyway, I didn't write the mini review for the releases of the week. I wrote it for the very first Rise and Shine. And because I had missed it for the releases of the week. And it was a discovery out of our promo emails from our promotional partners. And I hadn't heard about you before, so I want to know everything. Where maybe we'll start at the beginning. How long is Franklin Zoo a band, and what have you done so far?
Oh, man. Yeah, and thank you for writing about us, by the way. Really stoked about it. Franklin Zoo, well, the current constellation has been existing for, 6 or 7 years, I think, maybe 8. The band was started back in 2009, I think. And it was, to begin with, a project where we just wrote more straight up rock music. Stuff that you can drink beer listening to at a bar, screaming a little bit. Pretty straightforward stuff. And then we decided to see if we could sort of explore even more. So we wrote our first label album, which was Red Skies, and that came in 2016. We released an EP before that, which had a lot of airtime. Everything went pretty well. But Red Skies was the first label record. Before that, we had a DIY one called Untamed.
Yeah, and Untamed from 2013. I listened to it and now preparing for this interview to explore a little bit your back catalog, and it's it still sounds like Franklin Zoo. You guys have some own voice, I would say, some unique voice, but but yeah, it was pretty obvious that back then it was a lot more straightforward. And then the Franklin Zoo, the self-titled EP, I thought was a little bit more doomy or stoner. And then with the Red Skies, you started to go in the direction where you kind of like that you went further in with the new album, the Dandelion Child, that was released now in October. So yeah, when you started out, it was not clear that you will one day go into a direction like this, right?
No, I don't think we had the gut to be honest. I think that it was, I don't know, man. I think it was more important for us to sort of be more mainstream at the beginning. It's a bit shameful to say, but it was maybe not as much as now about the music as it is now. It had more to do with all the partying, I guess. It's, you know, writing stuff like that, you know, everybody can relate, and it was a very fun time with a lot of beers. But then with Red Skies, as you said, we sort of tried to see even more with the doomy gloomy thing on the EP, see what happens if we explore a more emotional expression. And the Dandelion Child now is definitely some sort of climax with regard to that exploration, because lyric-wise, songwriting-wise, everything has just taken this artsy turn where you go from just being a bar band to actually see what happens if we actually do what we can instead of just playing around with all the easy stuff. So along came all the odd meters and the long tracks and the more deep narratives, lyric-wise as well. You know, the first lyrics I wrote, man, they were downright, I wouldn't say stupid, but they were very, very shallow. Okay. And yeah, you know, like woman, baby, you know I love you. So it's like it's stuff like that. It's so bad, like that, you know, just some shit, just made it up. And then I don't know. The label record, Red Skies, which was released through My Music Target Records, was a little bit more, became darker. And we found out that the dark expression sort of was where we wrote the best music. So we kept going that way. And now when you have the Dandelion Child, it's sort of like we've been through the darkness, and now we want to include both ends of that spectrum, not just darkness. And,
wow, yeah, that's a beautiful, that's a nice, progression towards something different. There's like it's been 5 years between Red Skies and the Dandelion Child. What were you guys up to in the meantime? I mean, because I didn't know you before, I wasn't following you, so I have no idea what you were up to. Did you have a lot of tours and live shows before when it was still possible?
Yeah, we did, and that was actually why we didn't produce that much. It was that we were out playing all the time, and I play in another band as well, which is more like doomy stoner thing. I released, I took over from Peter Dolving from The Haunted. He had a project in Denmark called I Am Fire, but he wasn't able to. He recorded the entire record, but he wasn't able to tour it. So they asked me if I wanted to sing his parts and to sing the record live, and I of course said yes, because I love Peter. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge Dolving fan, so I was like, oh wow, this is a huge opportunity for me. And alongside that, I had Franklin Zoo with the Red Skies tour, where we went to the UK, we went to Finland, we went to Holland, Germany, all sorts of places, as well as all the Danish concerts. So we were pretty busy, and then came my third kid. It's a classic story, man. We have 11 children in this band.
Wow. Family band.
We do have periods of time where people are less available. And with all the touring, as well as the writing, that takes a lot of time. So then we prioritize so that we play the live shows, all the live shows that we got. And then actually COVID came like a well-deserved break where we could finish stuff, It's sort of like that.
And now the Dandelion Child, if I saw it correctly, was self-released again. Is that correct?
Yeah. Oh man, it was just this is the hard part. There's, labels today, they sign you and they distribute your music, and we sort of you break even, so to speak. And they work mainly as a bank because they want to have back all the money they spend. With them owning the music you make. So I do not own the rights to Red Sky. I do not own the master of Red Sky. My old record label does that. So we decided to see if we could go another way and pay a prime to promote it and keep owning the music ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of that philosophy. Of course, it costs a lot of money. It's I don't know in euros. I'm not right enough. I think it has cost us. If I calculate it, we need to divide. It has cost around 20,000 euros to make this one.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, but I want to say it was worth it because it's a brilliant record.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. I'm so happy you like it. There's a vinyl coming here in mid-December.
Beautiful.
So it's going to be a double gatefold thing.
Awesome.
Yeah. We wanted to make everything as artistic as possible, which includes that the cover art has been hand painted by a good friend of ours, who's an excellent painter, and all the lyrics in the gatefold I've sat down, written them by hand, so they're printed in
wow,
there.
beautiful.
Every detail is taken care of with great diligence. Yeah.
Yeah, so it has been out since October, since the beginning of October, and we just heard that you went the DIY route, releasing it yourself. But you have Prime promoting it. How has the reception been so far?
Well, it's been pretty good. Like all the reviewers love it, maybe except for one. But that's okay,
You can't please everyone.
No, and I will say that there has been fewer reviews than when we had a label.
Okay.
You can actually feel a huge difference right there. It's like when you have a label behind you, people take the record more seriously. So that's a subjective estimation, but I've definitely felt that. The reception overall has been pretty overwhelming. People really dig this. And
I can absolutely see why.
yeah, but it feels like you let it all out there and you feel extremely vulnerable when you do something like this, because this is like, it's so easy to go through life and half-ass it, because then you can always tell yourself if you don't succeed, you didn't try hard enough. That's why you didn't succeed. You can always have this excuse, But that excuse with this record has been completely removed. This is the best we can do. And if we don't succeed, we just didn't succeed, and there's no excuse for it. You can't say, well, it's due to us not trying hard enough. No, we tried our absolute best here. So for me, this record, it has a big personal value because it's a piece of music where I really tried my hardest. Yeah. Whereas with the first record, Untamed, that was.
What was the last bit you broke up there? The first record was
that was easy. That
easy,
was like 4x4. I can, if I twang stuff the right way, sound like a hard rock, pretty good singer. And this was just it was more of an exhibition. The first record was more of an exhibition than it was actually a piece of art. And some people like that. And I think I did not have the courage at that time to do something which would be more advanced, because then I would actually be vulnerable and the reception of things would hit me. But now it feels better because you're more invested yourself. It also brings more vulnerability, but at the same time, you need to be able to take it before you make art that's good enough. So it's taken 10 years for us to a place where we got the gut, but now we got it,
Yeah, but I don't know if it's still true, but I remember back in the day when I was first starting out to be interested, to really being interested in music, they used to say that like the third record is the make it or break it record.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the music a little bit more. Let's talk about the influences. I mean, the bands that I compared you to, that they were actually also all in the press release, and for once they were really spot on. Like Opeth, Soundgarden, Tool, and Deftones. And I personally would add the Swedish Vulkan to that, which was kind of my discovery of last year. They have a similar earthy, heavy prog rock sound. Now that we know the progression of your your approach to music, what would you say are your personal main influences?
That's the best question, man. This band is like a chimera, Daniel and I, who are the main composers, we also have Søren. We all have a pretty strong link to the grunge era, the Seattle grunge era. But that's sort of like when you were 16 and wearing the flannel shirt and all that. So I have a love for the more advanced parts of grunge. Not the more advanced part. That sounds fucking stupid. No, I love Nirvana. I love Nirvana. I love the old Nirvana. I'm one of those guys that believe that Dave Grohl should not ever sing again and only play the drums. I love Dave Grohl. Sure. Yeah, but it's like I don't get Foo Fighters. It's too easy. Whereas Nirvana, it sounds like they were fighting with the instrument, And I really love Alice in Chains. I love Soundgarden. I love Pearl Jam. I love the Melvins. I love all that behind the stuff. My main band has probably always been Nirvana or Soundgarden, as well as Alice in Chains. But that's the grunge thing, and we all have that ore in us. On the other hand, I love Joni Mitchell. I love David Bowie. I love Nick Cave. I love Leonard Cohen. I do not like Iron Maiden. I'm not into King Diamond. I love Led Zeppelin. I love Rush. I love Sumac. The band that they're from Canadian. It's an American Canadian band. I'll send it to you. You're gonna fucking fall down the chair, man.
Okay.
It's great. I love Opeth. I love Candlemass. I love I think my taste is extremely broad. I love jazz music. I love soul music. I like,
But
Lauryn Hill. You name it. Everything that has a sort of a nerve to it. But with regard to this music, the clear influences the clear thing is that Daniel, the main riff master, has listened to a lot of Opeth, and is also maybe the biggest David Bowie fan and Frank Zappa fan I've known my entire life. And on the other hand, you have a guy like me who likes to read and write poetry and can sing. And I love every singer that has something invested into what they do. Mm-hmm. I don't care about the gender of the singer or the sex of the singer. I don't give a shit as long as it just tells me a good story. I believe that Joni Mitchell is one of the best singers ever, by far, by none. She's amazing, and the day that she dies is going to be a personally soulful day for me, as well as when Chris Cornell went away. So as I said
Leonard
before,
Cohen.
Yeah, as well, you know, and right now I'm listening to Hosier, because I found a tune called the Arsonist Lullaby, and I found it extremely beautiful. So when stuff is beautiful, I'm immediately turned on to it. When stuff is more like a costume party, like I think that people love Iron Maiden and King Diamond and that part, and I don't say there's something wrong with it. I just don't understand it. and that's not, it has nothing to do with me being more or less intelligent than everybody else. I just don't understand the purpose of bands like that.
The funny thing, you should mention it, because I mean, I do like some Soundgarden or some Pearl Jam, maybe some Alice in Chains, but I never got into Nirvana. I have to admit, and the whole like the grunge aesthetic was never one I've been like immediately drawn to. And but lately there has been a couple of bands that have incorporated into something else, like I think it was last year, there was a Canadian American band, Gargoyle, with Dave Davidson from Revocation on the guitars, and that's like King Crimson doing avant-garde grunge or something, and I was so hooked because it was so twisted, but had still got like this earthy, grungy feeling. And in Vulcan, I don't feel the grunge that much as in Franklin Zoo, but it's not that I have to tolerate it. I think I really enjoy it in this new package, if you want. I'm so happy you think so, because when it comes to grunge in this band, we are all extremely picky. So there's part of grunge that we dislike, and there's part of grunge that we like. And of course, we're being compared to Soundgarden all the time. Maybe it also has something to do with my vocals. I don't know. But I'm so glad that you notice. It's like a glass of wine with notes of grunge in it. And we are extremely picky about what those notes are. And we are extremely picky about what we sort of add to the music all the time. As also you wrote in the review that we have Jacob Bradau from Hecht as a guest vocalist on The Abandoned, which is the last closer of the record. And that was also up for discussion. This is a discussion band, you know, like everything is just, it's been dragged through a number of reflections. Okay.
But Jacob for us was the obvious choice. I said I want him, or I want the lead singer from Sumac to do this. And no one else I want to do it, because Jacob's vocals are, at least in the thrash scene, they're legendary, and he's such a presence, both as a person as well as a vocalist. He's a good friend, and I really like him. I like the way that he is as a person, and the lines that he's singing in that song is actually important, because those are lines of a person that admits that they exaggerate and tell lies about themselves because they feel deep down inside they're not good enough. So I needed a very honest, calm man who can scream this shit to scream it. Because that's what abandonment does to you. I'm a psychologist when I'm not a singer. And I know that when people have been through, early childhood abandonment, they have a sort of overcompensating way of going about truth. So they always make up stuff, maybe they can run 100 meters in 15 seconds, but they'll go around and tell the people they can run it in 11 seconds. And the problem is that nobody likes a person like that. And I wanted Jacob to convey this for us. So with regards to the grunge notes on the record, I think that it has mainly to do with the parts of Soundgarden that we like the most, which would be the Bad Motorfinger records. It plays a huge role in this band. Of course, I can't remember the black one, but the main, the one after Bad Motorfinger. I can't remember what it's called right now. Super Unknown, of course. It also plays a role, but we're actually more into all the other music than Super Unknown in this band. And I love Chris Cornell. I love all his solo things as well. Euphoria Morning, excellent record. His singer-songwriter record from where he just sits down with an acoustic guitar and plays his ass off. I love that. So I'm glad that you notice the notes, but I'm also glad that you don't notice it in a way that we're shoving mainstream music down your throat. It's an attempt to take out the coolest stuff we could actually find and make references to that.
If you are enjoying this interview, please head over to theprogspace.com for more reviews, articles, pictures and interviews, all about progressive music. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. theprogspace.com.
You already mentioned King Diamond a couple of times, and yet that you don't like him or you don't get his music. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
He's of course one of the, if not the biggest, heavy music expert of Denmark, right? But apart from him, I like watching from afar from the south of Germany, I have the feeling that the Danish hard heavy music scene is flourishing amazingly. So is there any other Danish bands that you're particularly digging right now that are active now?
There was, but they dissolved some years ago. They were called Black Book Lodge.
Okay.
They've made, I think it's 3 records, and I have to recommend all 3 of them. Ronnie, which is the frontman, is an excellent singer, excellent songwriter. I fucking love that band.
That was Black Book Lodge?
Yeah, Black Book Lodge, like the Lodge of the Black Book. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I still feel as the new guy and a guest singer, so I like I Am Fire, which was Dolving's project here in Denmark.
Mm-hmm.
It's with the old Hecht bass player, Michael Ehlert, was part of the old team with Jacob Bradel as well. He plays the bass, and we have, those guys are excellent. It's they're really, really good. So I Am Fire, Black Book Lodge. What else? I have Møl, M-O, the Danish Ø.
Yes.
Mill, I like that. And their lead singer just joined another band called the Arcane Order. Those guys are pretty cool.
Yeah, Merle has a new record out this year. I think it's even on Nuclear Blast. So they're kind of blowing up with this kind of blackened hardcore or whatever they're doing.
Exactly.
Like it's pretty fierce stuff.
And the high speeds, like they're up there all the time, you know.
And the Arcane Order just had just released a new single, I guess. I think like a week ago or something.
Yeah, exactly. And Kim, the lead singer, was presented. You know, no one knew. I didn't know that he was joining that band, so it's a huge surprise for me. A pleasant surprise, nonetheless, but a huge one. Though, but there are a lot of bands. Also, the metal bands. I think we have also Vola, which is a really, really good band that have made a name.
Absolutely,
they made a name outside of Denmark before they come back to Denmark and blow through.
Yeah, it's very, very, very interesting to see. They're truly the shooting stars of the modern progressive metal scene these days. Like in the wake of the Leproses and Hakenses, they're kind of the next big thing. I have the feeling, and
and also I have another band called Alchemist, which is like, those guys are pretty good as well. I have to say, I really enjoy them. They've made a couple of records now, so. And I know for a fact they're working on the third one.
Okay, but I think what was the name? Maybe you will have to send it to me. Didn't really get it.
Yeah, I can send you this. It's Alchemist. It's ALKYMIST. Alchemist.
Alchemist. Okay.
Alchemist. Yeah.
Now, you guys are there listening to the podcast. Can understand it as well and can write it down and search for it if you're interested. I think it's very interesting to see that a lot of Danish bands seem to be, in the more progressive metalcore direction. So it's kind of refreshing to see some Danish bands doing something else.
Yeah. I think that we got kind of sick of ourselves here in Denmark. Everything's so plain. But I really dig the new music that's coming out. I don't always get all of it, I have to say. And I also think that it has to do with, I don't know, when you listen to a lot of music and you live your life through music, so to speak. It's like you need a soundtrack in order to feel that you exist. It sort of desensitizes you to what music is. It has to be more and more extreme. Sometimes I compare it to drugs. You develop this tolerance, and you need more in order to feel a kick. So when I said to you before, Sumac is going to blow you off the chair, I'm talking about Sumac and their huge, epic song called The Task, which is 21 minutes. And that blew me away. Finally, I felt blown away again. As when I heard Reprise, as when I heard Just Not Me for the first time, that kind of. When I heard Jaco Pastorius for the first time, when I heard Frank Zappa the first time, I had that feeling. And it takes something. Takes more and more for you to get that feeling, right? Do you know that?
I can absolutely relate, and also, the best example for it was that for a long time I was not really able to get into the more extreme stuff, apart from Opeth maybe, or a couple of other, that might have a little bit of growls here and there. But then in 2015, 2016, suddenly like my horizon opened and widened with bands like Hypnose from France and Black Crown Initiate, Rivers of Nihil, Oceans of Slumber, all that good stuff and Slice the Cake, but that can be really, really brutal as well. But
true, it's like when you hear the ocean, I love the ocean and the Cult of Luna, and I heard the ocean first time. I heard that one that was called Triassic, and that rhythm, I was like, holy shit! Finally, something touched me again. The same with another Danish band called LLNN.
Yeah,
they're actually on Pelagic Records right now with the ocean.
Yeah,
and
right.
Those guys are good friends. So Rasmus, the drummer, was our old video guy before he got too busy playing the drums with LLNN. And when I heard their new record, The Unmaker, I actually got again, that feeling, oh my God.
I did listen to the singles and I thought it was pretty brutal. I didn't explore it further yet. Maybe I'm gonna check the album out now. Coming so highly recommended from you.
Yeah, but you need to dose it like small doses.
Yeah. Sometimes
it's an acquired taste, I think.
Sometimes that is absolutely needed in order to kind of get into something. There was one particular album. The guys from Ash Breather who were on here like 2 weeks ago on the Progtalks recommended. It was Cavalcade by Black Midi. An album that was released this year, and I told them, well, I didn't get into it. What I heard, I heard that everybody's raving about it, and that it's kind of some avant-garde math rock meets King Crimson or something. And that could right be up my weirdness and weird prog alley, but I didn't get into it. So we'll need to try again sometime, maybe in smaller doses, and not try forcefully to sit through the whole album.
But maybe one day I'll like Iron Maiden and King Diamond. Who knows? It's a matter of acquisition. I think that if you don't get the depth of it right away, just leave it be and visit it again. Yeah.
Best example from my music discovery years was Spock's Beard. I was fairly new to prog and still like a teenager and of course knew only the bigger bands like Dream Theater and Symphony X and Pink Floyd and whatnot, but and the older big ones. But then I listened to the Kindness of Strangers album, which I found in a secondhand shop, and I just knew that they're supposed to be a really good prog band, and I didn't get into it. And 1 or 2 years later, I put the CD on again, and then it was a huge revelation.
Yeah,
one of those revelations you talked. You already talked about a couple of times today. It's. Wow, it's just so much fun to talk music. That's why
I love it.
That's why I'm doing all of this as well here with the Progtalks and stuff, because it's just so much fun. One last question maybe about something very general. Because I think the Franklin Zoo is a band that kind of falls into the overlap middle ground between hard or heavy rock and metal, being very heavy without really having the sound aesthetic of metal. Would you agree, or would you? Where would you put Franklin Zoo? Would you say you're a rock band or are you a metal band?
Oh shit, man! You're touching upon our biggest problem. It's actually quite. It's a very, very precise question you're asking right there. It's like a scalpel. Like, you know, we've
Take
been
that as a compliment.
I take it definitely as a compliment, but the problem is that no one knows what to do with us. It's like, and we see it also with all the booking agencies, the management thing. No one wants us, and it's because they don't know where to place us. So I can write maybe more mainstream music agency, and they'll write back. They'll write something like, "Hey Rasmus, nice to hear from you. Clearly your level is off the charts. You're a really good band, and congratulations with the record. Unfortunately, this is not the kind of music that we book or promote." Okay, that would be the mainstream music booking agency. Now, I can write the metal agency, and I'll be lucky if they answer at all, because we're too soft for them, but we're too hard for the more mainstream booking management thing.
All right.
So we're in the middle of nowhere. Like as you actually put it, we're in that exact overlap, and that causes some problems for people with regard to categorization, and therefore what to do with us as a product or something that needs to be sold. We have a lot of metal guys that like our music. For instance, Rasmus from LNN came and said, "You guys, this record is fucking awesome," and I like, right. and he said, and I would play it and I would listen to it even though you weren't my friend. So that's a really good. And also I have friends that would normally listen to more. That would never listen to metal music that say the same thing. Rasmus he's a hardcore guy, you know. He used to play in the Psych Project, and he loves music like that. And then I have people from that I've never met before, or people that like soul music or whatever, jazz music. They'll be like, "This is actually pretty good. This speaks to me as well." So our problem right now. And you pinpointed it exactly, because I'm dealing with it right now, and I'm writing booking agencies, I'm writing managements and stuff. No one wants us, and I have I think that I have identified it the exact way that you formulated the question. We are in that overlap, so it needs to be clear. The profile needs to be clear. On the other hand, the main quality of the record is that it is unclear.
That is like the unique selling point, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But if there are any booking agencies out there,
I just wanted to say that. Spread the word. Franklin Zoo, they are looking for a home in regards of a booking agency.
Management as well.
if you're not a booking agency or artist management, you can still go out, listen to Franklin Zoo, and then also order the vinyl, which is coming out soon, of the Dandelion Child, the amazing new album. Go follow them on all their social media platforms, and I'm really hoping that once this the situation allows, you guys will be out and playing all the stages again that are available.
Yeah, we'll have to see about that. Yeah, but I don't know how it is in Germany. But right here, I think tonight they've been, reviving some of the restrictions.
In Germany it's worse. In Germany it's definitely worse, and but I'm sure in the summer it's gonna be okay again. But then usually in the summer there's not really concert season because it's festival season. So let's hope the festivals at least might go forward in the summer. But we'll see. It's gonna be we'll have to take it as a day by day, case by case thing. However it comes, we can't do anything about it anyway, except being sensible about it in our everyday lives. And Yeah, thank you for taking the time outside in the cold with the candle, very moody. Thank you guys out there.
And thank you so much for having me, man. And thank you for listening to the stuff we do.
You're absolutely welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you guys out there for listening to the Progtalks. If you like what we're doing, you can always get us a cup of tea, cup of coffee. Links in the description also to leave a like or comment or subscription. Also, of course, all the links for Franklin Zoo in the description everywhere. That's it for this episode. Take care out there and keep spreading that prog love.
The Progtalks, produced by the Progspace. Main host, Rune Belsvik Reinås. Produced by Rune Belsvik Reinås, Vanessa and Matthias Kirsch. All graphics and animations by Vanessa Kirsch. Intro theme by Giuseppe Negri. Outro theme by Zach Munowitz. This was the Progtalks by the Progspace. See you in a week.